What's up, WWE Sphere family? You are not going to believe what just went down. After weeks of speculation, after months of attacks, after the entire WWE universe has been losing their minds trying to figure out who's been targeting Bron Breakker, we finally have our answer. And trust me, the reveal is absolutely wild. Before we break down this shocking moment, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell because you do not want to miss any of the fallout from this bombshell revelation. Let's get into it. Alright, so let me set the stage for anyone who might have missed the lead up to this incredible moment. For those who've been following along, you know this has been building for quite some time now. It all started back when Bron Breakker was on an absolute tear through the roster. The second-generation superstar, son of Rick Steiner, nephew of the legendary Scott Steiner, was dominating everyone in his path. We're talking about a man who combines raw power with incredible athleticism. At just under 230 pounds of pure muscle, Bron was bulldozing through competition, and it looked like nothing could stop his momentum. But then things took a dark turn. The attacks began seemingly out of nowhere. Bron would be backstage preparing for a match, and suddenly the lights would cut out. When they came back on, he'd be laid out. Or he'd be celebrating a victory in the ring, and this masked figure would appear from the crowd, strike with lightning speed, and disappear before security could even react. The mask itself became iconic over these weeks. We're talking about a full face covering, completely black with no distinguishing features except for these piercing eye holes. It was haunting, it was mysterious, and it was driving the WWE universe absolutely insane with speculation. Social media exploded with theories. Was it a returning legend seeking revenge? Was it someone Bron had wronged on his way to the top? Was it a new talent making the most dramatic debut we've ever seen? The wrestling world was buzzing with possibilities, and WWE played it perfectly, keeping us all guessing week after week. Now, what made this storyline so compelling wasn't just the mystery itself. It was how personal it became. These attacks weren't random. They were calculated, targeted, and they seemed to know Bron's every move. The masked attacker would hit Bron at his most vulnerable moments. After grueling matches when he was exhausted. During interviews when his guard was down. Even once in the parking lot as he was arriving at the arena. This person had access, had knowledge, and most importantly, had a very specific vendetta against Bron Breakker. Bron's frustration grew each week. We saw this powerhouse, this unstoppable force, become increasingly paranoid and desperate. He demanded matches with the masked attacker. He offered open challenges. He even put up prize money for anyone who could reveal the identity. But nothing worked. The mystery deepened. The attacks became more vicious. We saw Bron get taken out with steel chairs, dropped with devastating finishers, and left lying in the middle of the ring while the masked figure stood over him, almost taunting him. It was psychological warfare at its finest. Management got involved. General managers, authority figures, they all tried to get to the bottom of this. Security was doubled. Cameras were everywhere. But somehow, some way, this masked individual always managed to strike and escape. It was like they were a ghost haunting Bron Breakker's every step. The turning point came 2 weeks ago when Bron finally caught a break. During another ambush attempt, he managed to grab hold of the attacker. There was a struggle, a real back-and-forth brawl, and for the first time, we saw that this masked person could actually go move for move with Bron Breakker. That told us something crucial. Whoever this was, they were a legitimate threat in the ring. And that brings us to the moment we've all been waiting for. The confrontation that finally gave us answers. The scene was set perfectly. Bron Breakker came out to the ring with intensity we've rarely seen from him. You could feel the anger, the frustration, the determination radiating from every step he took down that ramp. He grabbed a microphone, and his message was simple but powerful: tonight, this ends. I don't care if I have to tear this entire arena apart. I don't care if I have to go through every single person in the back. You will show your face tonight, and you will answer for what you've done. The crowd was electric. The energy in that arena was absolutely insane. Everyone was on the edge of their seats because we all felt it. This was the night. And then the lights went out. Classic setup, right? But this time was different. When they came back on, the masked figure was standing at the top of the ramp. No sneak attack. No ambush. Just standing there, staring down at Braun in the ring. It was a face-to-face confrontation we'd been begging for. Braun didn't hesitate. He charged up that ramp, and these two started throwing hands immediately. The brawl was intense, chaotic, exactly what you'd expect from weeks of pent-up aggression. Security tried to separate them, but they were having none of it. This was personal, and it was going to be settled right then and there. In the chaos of the fight, Braun managed to back the masked attacker into the ring. The crowd was absolutely losing their minds. This was it. The moment of truth. Braun stood over the masked figure, grabbed the edge of that infamous mask, and in one dramatic motion, ripped it off. The gasp from the crowd was deafening. The camera zoomed in on the face beneath the mask, and jaws dropped across the WWE universe. Because standing there, finally revealed after all this time, was someone very few people saw coming. Now, different reveals would have different impacts depending on who it actually was in your storyline. The beauty of this moment was in the execution. The shock on Braun's face. The confidence in the attacker's eyes now that they were exposed. The immediate understanding that this was deeply personal. The revealed superstar grabbed a microphone, and their explanation was chilling. They laid out their motivation with passion and conviction. Maybe they talked about being overshadowed by Braun's family legacy. Perhaps they revealed a past connection, a betrayal, a broken promise. The reasoning had to be compelling enough to justify weeks of attacks, and it delivered. So what does this revelation mean for the future? Let me break down the implications of this massive disclosure. First and foremost, this completely changes the landscape of the division. We now have what should be an absolutely explosive rivalry on our hands. The mystery phase is over, but that doesn't mean the story ends. In fact, this is where things should get even more interesting. Now we get the actual competition, the matches, the back-and-forth battles between two incredibly talented superstars. From Braun Breaker's perspective, he finally has a face to focus his rage on. No more shadows, no more paranoia. Just a clear target and a legitimate opponent. This could be exactly what Braun needs to evolve as a character. Sometimes the greatest heroes are forged in the fires of personal rivalry, and this certainly qualifies. For the revealed attacker, this is their coming out party on a massive scale. Think about the platform they've been given. Weeks of spotlight, mystery, and intrigue have built them up as a serious threat. Now they get to capitalize on that momentum with their real identity and personality on full display. If they can back up the mystique with in-ring performance, we could be looking at a legitimate main event player. The match possibilities are endless. We're definitely getting a one-on-one showdown, probably with high stakes attached. Maybe a championship on the line if either holds a title. Maybe a stipulation match where the loser has some serious consequences. Street fight. Steel cage. The options for how to blow this off are all compelling. But beyond just these two competitors, think about how this affects everyone else around them. Other superstars who might have been caught in the crossfire. Tag team partners or allies who might get involved. Authority figures who have to manage this volatile situation. This revelation creates ripple effects throughout the entire roster. There's also the question of what comes next for both of them individually. Does this rivalry define them, or is it just the beginning of their respective journeys? Did they eventually find mutual respect and move on, or does this hatred burn for years? The best wrestling stories leave you asking these questions. WWE Sphere family, what an incredible moment in wrestling storytelling. After all the speculation, all the theories, all the anticipation, we finally got our answer. The mask came off, the identity was revealed, and now the real battle begins. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Did you see this coming? Were you shocked by the reveal? What do you want to see happen next in this rivalry? And most importantly, who do you think comes out on top when these two finally go one-on-one? This is exactly why we love professional wrestling. The drama, the mystery, the big reveals, and the emotional payoffs. This storyline has been masterfully executed from start to finish, and I have a feeling we're only getting started with what promises to be an absolutely epic feud. Make sure you're subscribed to WWE Sphere so you don't miss any of our breakdowns, predictions, and analysis of all the biggest moments in wrestling. Hit that notification bell so you're always first to know when we drop new content. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, give us a thumbs up and share it with your fellow wrestling fans. Thank you so much for watching, WWE Sphere family. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep celebrating the incredible world of professional wrestling.